All right, welcome back. We're going to look at some more completing the square examples. Before we do, what did the pony say when he sneezed? Okay, so we're going to look at completing the square with something like this. X squared plus 4x. This time it's a bit different than the ones we just did. This time I have some extra ones here, don't I? We looked at x squared plus 4x, but now this is plus 7. So I have all the pieces I need here on the left. X squared plus 4x plus 7. I want to make a square. Okay, well, if I have 4x's, obviously I need to put 2 of them on each side, don't I? Okay. Now some gaps. Oh, this time I have some pieces I can put in there. Look, I've got some ones I can pull in there. Oh, so I can make a square, but I still have a few extra pieces. So in this case, it's actually relatively straightforward. So my square is, that's x, that's 2, that's x, that's 2. So I've got x plus 2 squared, right? That's the square. But I have a couple extra pieces. I can't forget them. I'll just add them on. Plus 3. There I go. I've completed the square. The key on these is just focus on the x squared plus 4x when you make your square. Sometimes we have extras over here. Sometimes we don't. We'll worry about those after we've made the square using, this is the base of our square, x squared plus 4x, right? That's the little ones here, right? We can figure out those later. So let's go ahead and tidy this up and we'll look at another example. Okay, here we go. X squared plus 4x plus 1. Let's complete the square. Again, what did I say? Our focus is on this part here, just the x squared plus 4x. That's our focus. Don't worry about the plus 1. Use the x squared plus 4x to go ahead and build our square. So we got my x squared. I got 4x there, so obviously I need to split them, don't I? I need 2 here, and I need 2 here. So that's the main part of my square. Now, I have this 1 here. Okay, so I can stick 1 in there, but I'm still missing. What am I missing? I need 3 pieces, don't I? So we can do what we did before. I need 3 extra pieces. I can take 3 pieces from over here. But if I take 3 pieces from over here, what do I need to do so that it's still equal? I need to take 3 pieces from over here then, right? Because if I add 3 and take away 3, it's still the same thing. This is a common technique we use in a lot of maths, right? We can add anything we want. We just need to keep it balanced. So if I add 3, take away 3, it's still the same thing. So I can put these 3 in here to finish my square. So I've got my square. So how am I going to write this when they ask me to complete the square? Well, this side is x. This side is x, and that's 2. This side is x, and that's 2. So if I complete the square, I get x plus 2 squared. Okay, and now what else? I still have the minus 3 left over. Okay, and that's what I have left over. So these are the same thing. X squared plus 4x plus 1 is exactly the same as this. It's just when we complete the square, we're just writing it in a different way so that it has a squared in it. Okay, if I expand this bracket and take away 3, I get the same thing as this. They are equivalent expressions, just a different way to write it. And by completing the square, it's going to be really handy for all sorts of things we do in our future algebra. So let's tidy this up, and then we'll look at another example. Okay, here's another example. We want to complete the square. And we've got x squared minus 2x minus 3, and we want to complete the square. Again, so I got my x squared. If I've got minus 2x, obviously one's going to have to go on each side, isn't it? Which means I need to rotate this one. So there's my 2x's to help make my square. Now, what goes in the missing piece? Can I take one of these red ones and stick it in this red piece? Can I do that? Well, let's check. All right, this is x. That's minus 1. That's x. That's minus 1. So what should this missing piece here be? That missing piece should be minus 1 times minus 1 is a plus 1, not a minus 1. So I can't stick it in there. In order to complete the square, I need a plus 1. Well, what am I going to do? Well, I can bring a plus 1 from over here. But if I bring a plus 1 in, I also have to bring a minus 1 in, don't I? Right? Because plus 1 minus 1 is 0. So really, it's still the same thing. So I can stick that plus 1 in there. Okay? And I'm just going to slide my minus 1 up there. So when I complete the square, what do I end up with here? I've ended up with x minus 1 squared. That's the square. And what do I have? That should be a square, not a line there. So I have x minus 1 squared, and what do I have? I have 4 minus 1s left over, minus 4. Okay, so I've completed the square. Again, as always, the focus when we complete the square is on the x squared and x bit. That's how we make the square, all right? This minus 3, it's sort of a little add-on, all right? Or to make the square, so I know I need an x squared, I know I need minus 1 and minus 1 on each side here, and then we work out what's left. So these things are the same, x squared minus 3. If I expand this bracket, x minus 1 squared, and then take away 4, I end up with the same thing. They are equivalent. Okay, so again, we're completing the square. As the name says, we need to complete a square. It's okay if we have extras at the end, and we're getting closer and closer. I know you want to say, why do I need to do this? We're getting closer to see an example of why this would be useful. We need to get better first at completing the square. So what did the pony say when he sneezed? He said, excuse me, I'm just a little hoarse. So I'm going to give you some questions to practice. Again, you can use the algebra tiles to go ahead and practice your completing the square.